Why do you think so many people fall into that trap of allowing someone that isn't the best for them into their lives when they're trying to um date as a single parent?
Because they're not in a place where they value and love themselves. They've either been worn down and got that way for a reason, and they haven't given themselves time to heal. They're just jumping back and forth, back and forth. So, because they haven't allowed themselves to heal and truly value them, it's just that they just get back on the game and they just naturally attracting that because that's what they're used to. It's not in a way, but whereas now a lot of people I'd let walk over me before, I wouldn't let that happen now, basically. So it's they just haven't learned to love themselves or feel the value or feel they're important enough to say no or this isn't right.
Sometimes I think to myself that because single parents are so consumed by being the best parent that they can be because they're doing the job of two people, I wonder if they allow certain things to happen just because they're so focused on other areas, and maybe they don't necessarily see these bad behaviors in the beginning because their focus is so stretched between work, themselves, and the children. Do you think that maybe single parents on the dating scene have a different time trying to date versus someone who's single without children?
Completely. So when you're a single parent, you don't think, oh, I'm mum and dad because you get on with it basically. You've got the child and you get on with it. So when you're in that situation, you don't actually think, oh, I'm doing mum. It's only when people actually point out to you, you realize how much you're actually doing. And it's not until you're going through it or you've gone through it, you look back and think, wow, that was hard. I can't believe I did it on my own. So I think again, if you've had children and you're still meeting those wrong people, you still haven't healed. You're still in that situation where whatever's gone on in the past, you haven't learned to love yourself and put yourself first. So I think it's really important. If anyone said to me, "Oh, be your advice," if you've got to be single for 5 years and meet the love of your life, be single for 5 years rather than a 5 more years of this energy being taken from you because that energy you need for your kids. And it is definitely easier for someone without kids to date than someone with kids to date because, like I said, with the children, it's either you've got to try and get childcare for them, or like me and your friend, you're putting them to bed, and you can't tell them you're going out because they won't go to sleep and that. And then it's you can't say I'm too late because you're absolutely knackered, especially like when they're toddlers because they're up at 5, 6 in the morning. And it's a completely different dynamic. Like when you haven't got kids, there's lots you don't think about, but when you have kids, there's even when you're there on your date, it's always there on your mind, and then you feel, oh, I've left them. You've got that mum guilt then of going out because you left your kids behind, and then you feel, oh, am I doing the right thing? When you're a single parent, well, when you're a parent at all, you've always got that guilt. We adapt when we become parents, you adapt that role of parent, and sometimes we can forget our identity as well. You put your kids first for everything, especially when they're younger, because they need to come first. And we quite often forget who we are and we lose who we are as well. So it's only when they get a bit older and you can start bringing little bits back into your life that is meaningful to you to make me Kelly and not mum, that's what's really important. But I think people haven't got to that stage where they've healed and value themselves, put themselves first, and that's why they're attracting the or still going for or allowing people not to be the right person just for the sake of its company as well. So I think people just, even if you're going to be single for 2 years, you need that time to heal is really, really important. Otherwise, you're going to carry on meeting those wrong people. So when I was in the great position of, if basic, are we allowed to swear? Can I swear? If he was a dickhead, then basically it would been off, deleted, back on, let's meet number two, basically. So, but for I was in the right place where I allowed that nice person into my life. So it was like I changed my mindset, and I wouldn't allow myself to go for anything else. If it didn't work out right, that was it. I was going to go straight back on to number two. So you've just got to allow yourself that really important time to heal and love you and put you first as you and not just as mum.
I think some people also forget that there's a number of single parents out there that they're single parents because the other parents they don't have a healthy relationship with.